Everyone loves a good joke. So how can learning the art of comedy help a small business deal with customers? It may seem crazy, but it turns out that laughter is good for business. For New York's Peppercom public relations firm, Lightening Up has brought a competitive advantage to their creative work while also boosting employee morale and winning new customers.
Hi, I'm Steve Cody.
I'm Clayton Fletcher.
Can you tell which one of these people is actually a comedian?
I'm an account supervisor. That means I run strategy for a number of North American clients at Peppercom.
I'm managing partner and co-founder of Peppercom, and I do next to nothing.
And I'm in charge of taking out the trash at Peppercom. No, that's not true. I'm their comedy coach. They bring me in, and I teach them how to be funny.
At New York-based public relations firm Peppercom, the employees are actually paid to laugh. No joke. This is a typical comedy workshop at the firm, run by professional comedian Clayton Fletcher.
So who would like to go next?
And attended by the staff.
One thing I strongly discourage is a joke. Wait, aren't you a comedy trainer? Yes, I am. But I don't want to hear jokes. I want the truth.
Seems a bit like a boondoggle, getting to sit around and laugh with your colleagues while on the clock, but it's not. The mastermind behind these sessions is Peppercom's managing partner, Steve Cody, who says that a little laughter goes a long way when it comes to business. He came up with the idea after trying stand-up comedy himself.
Oh, have I got a kidney for you? You're naked up there. You don't have a PowerPoint presentation to support you. And then I suddenly woke up and said, hey, wait a second, this is really helping me in business too. And I noticed that, you know, even though I thought I was a fairly good public speaker and presenter, I was becoming subtly better at reading audiences, at filling those pregnant pauses that occur in any sort of business meeting. And I thought to myself, I shouldn't keep this just to me. I should share it with the rest of the agency.
So Steve hired Clayton to come up with strategies to help Peppercom's employees become better comedians, which would turn them into better communicators, which would make them better at their jobs.
I think a sense of humor is like a fingerprint. Everyone has their own unique version of it. And so that's the first thing we do, is some exercises to try to get them thinking about what makes them laugh, what makes them funny.
Clayton says that in order for comedy to become a useful part of your everyday job, the joke has to start with something real.
My 83-year-old Polish grandmother is sitting in the front of the bush back.
And then quickly move to the punchline.
And one of the most important elements of a good punchline is a surprise. So we try to find ways to misdirect or confuse the audience so that the funny part catches them off guard. Because you want your clients and your prospective clients to never know what you're going to throw at them next.
Another comedy technique Clayton focuses on that helps companies and comedians alike is knowing your audience.
It's about eye contact. It's about reading other people's body language. It's about focusing on the client and how the client is responding to what I'm saying, and then making adjustments based on whether the visual feedback I'm receiving is positive or negative.
You guys look miserable.
That's exactly what I do every night in the club. There's a guy in the front row with his arms crossed who's yawning. I'm going to talk about that to try to loosen him up a little bit.
Should be in a balcony making fun of Muppets.
While the goal of these workshops is to help turn out better PR professionals, the most daring students from the workshop try out their material during Clayton's show at the New York Comedy Club. A challenge that is not for the faint of heart.
I was like, can you believe Lisa? She was at no in her 20s. No wonder she was such a slut, am I right?
Cultivating the creative and comedic culture at Peppercom has led to award-winning blogs, creative Christmas cards, and amusing company videos.
I'm all about putting price on the line.
Peppercom negotiator.
It may seem like all fun and games, but humor in the workplace has boosted business at Peppercom by winning them their biggest client to date, Whirlpool.
Peppercom stood out for a number of reasons. Primarily, they had a lot of fun repertoire and fun things they were doing online, and they also at the same time would intersperse professional, high-level strategic counseling in the midst of all the fun. So it made them something special.
Winning Whirlpool was because of comedy. Audrey actually searched out firms and found us on the web and knew about us a little bit, but saw our comedy workshops that we do, and she got really excited about that.
Comedy has given Peppercom a distinct competitive advantage by improving employee morale, tickling their funny bone, and also helping the company's bottom line.
Winning the Whirlpool business was colossal. Since we got our foot in the door, we now represent Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, corporate, and all global. So it's, you could say, I don't want to come across the wrong way, but you could say we're laughing all the way to the bank.
So is humor a sound business tool? Let's turn to this week's hilarious board of directors. Norm Brodsky is an Econ magazine columnist, and Ari Tiemann is the CEO of 12 Gurus, an innovation consulting group. He's also author of the book Effective Gratitude for Organizations and Individuals, and you are a comedian, which is why it makes you so perfect for this discussion. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
So when I was watching that, I was sort of petrified for those people, because nothing sounds scarier to me than standing up in front of a group of people, let alone your colleagues, and trying to be funny. I mean, what if you're just not funny?
The audience is usually drunk. You're fine.
at a comedy place.
I would recommend you institute a 2-drink minimum, and the work will go much smoother.
Yeah, in general, right? Not when you're just trying to be funny.
You know, it isn't only about comedy. What they've done there is created a culture, and that's one of the most important things. Their culture happens to be comedy. It doesn't have to be for you. I mean, it was terrific what they did, and people like a particular culture. Funny is good, you know, so they attract those people who want to work for them, who like humor.
But I think, no, Norm, even if you don't care about being funny in the workplace, there's got to be something to being able to get up there and shed all of your fears, and that's got to help you just in interactions, whether it be work interactions or personal interactions. It's got to help you at work.
Well, life is about being there. Life is about making an effort, making that chance, taking that risk, especially if you're going to start a business or you're going to start any venture, or you want to make a connection with somebody. You've actually got to go through and break a barrier, and that barrier is not just something the other person has, but it's your own barriers. Comedy is really about, you know, going through those risks.
And what they're doing is they're making people feel comfortable. In other words, when somebody gets up and makes a fool of themselves, and people are laughing at you, what's better than that?
Right, exactly. That's what I think is so great about it and so scary about it. Right. Do you find that your comedy helps you in your business?
I think it does. I think it breaks down those barriers, and success comes from being open and human. More and more we're seeing that. You look at a company like Zappos, and people connect with it because they feel that there's a conversation that they can have, and there's actually a human on the other side of the line. And the businesses that are growing now are very personal. Comedy, when it's done right, is very personal.
And it's not only comedy, you know, the best comedy are true stories. And as they said in that piece before, they have to start off with stuff that it's actual. Right. And the funniest things are things that happen to you while you're at business, while you're at work. And if you can tell people those stories, it's fantastic.
So I guess what they're building is funny people, if they're funny, but confidence, really. What they're building is confidence.
And they're doing two things. They're building a culture within the company. And when you want to attract customers, you know, people love to have a great culture. That's the first thing. And second of all, they're building employee loyalty, which is really important. Awesome. The employees love to go to work, and that's one of the most important things.
And we have to wrap up, but one quick thing. Can funny be learned? Can you learn to be funny?
I've seen people start out that were terrible, and they're still pretty horrible, but they're much better. So there's always hope.
Learn to a point. All right, thanks so much, you guys.